The galaxy had known peace for a long time. Not perfect peace. Small fights happened here and there. But no one tried to swallow whole systems anymore. Then the NIGMA Empire woke up again. They were old. Very old. Insect-like creatures with hard shells and hive minds. Queens ruled from deep nests. Warriors followed orders without question. They believed the stars belonged to them by right. When they moved, they took everything. Valor watched from his silent station. He was the last of the Luminar. His people once lit whole sectors with their glow. Now only he remained, recording what happened. He did not judge. He wrote facts. His screens showed the NIGMA ships spreading again. Slow at first, then faster. They claimed dead worlds. They claimed living worlds. They did not ask. Humans arrived later. Their ships were plain, gray metal with thin stripes of red, white, and blue. They built small colonies. They traded food, tools, stories. They listened. The Galactic Assembly welcomed them. Daniel spoke for them often. He had short brown hair and a quiet voice. He never raised it. Laura sat next to him. She wrote notes fast. Her eyes caught every detail. The NIGMA noticed humans quickly. Scouts came close. They watched human ships. They took soil samples from border moons. They marked systems as theirs. No message, no talk, just marks. Daniel sent the first warning. He broadcast it on open channels so every species could hear. His words were simple. These systems have people living in them. Our people. Do not enter. Do not claim. Leave now. The message repeated every hour for 3 days. The NIGMA answered. Their voice came through clicks and sharp tones translated by machines. The weak do not own stars. The strong take what they need. You will serve or die. They laughed after, a dry scraping sound that filled every receiver. They think we are prey. Daniel nodded once. Then we show them otherwise. Humans did not attack. They moved families away from the edges. They built more defense platforms. They tested weapons in empty space. Quiet work. No boasts. Valor noted the difference. Most new species begged the assembly for help. Humans asked for nothing. They prepared alone. The NIGMA tested further. They sent a small fleet to a mining moon called Clear Rock. Humans had dug tunnels there for iron and nickel. No big population, just workers and machines. The NIGMA ships arrived at dawn. They fired once. The surface melted, tunnels collapsed. No one died because the moon had been empty for repairs. The workers had left the day before on Daniel's order. The NIGMA broadcast again. Pictures of the burning moon. This is your warning. Submit or more will burn. Daniel answered in the assembly hall. Every species watched. He stood straight. You did not. You damaged property that belongs to us. That ends here. The next time you cross our line, we will cross yours. This is your final clear warning. Aliens in the hall whispered. Some smiled. They thought humans talked big but stayed soft. The NIGMA queen on her throne world clicked in joy. She ordered more ships. She wanted tribute, slaves, resources. She wanted humans broken. Weeks passed. Humans stayed quiet. Trade continued. Meetings happened. Daniel shook hands. Laura smiled politely. No one saw the changes under the surface. In hidden shipyards behind gas giants, new hulls grew. Christopher led the teams there. Tall man, tired eyes, always drawing on tablets. He built guns that fired faster than light could track. He made shields that bent beams away. Megan worked beside him. She planned paths through space no one expected. Short jumps, hidden routes, surprise angles. Kevin trained boarding crews. Young, strong, they practiced in dark holds. Zero gravity. Close fights. No sound. No mercy when needed. Ashley flew test runs every day. Her fighter danced between asteroids. She learned to slip past sensors. She learned to strike and vanish. Brandon watched it all from his command ship Resolve. He spoke little. He listened more. When reports came in, he gave short orders. Build more. Train harder. Be ready. The NIGMA grew bold. They moved a full battle group toward New Haven. A green world. Farms, cities, families. 30 hive ships came, each one bigger than a mountain. Drones filled the space around them like angry bees. They stopped at the edge of the system. They sent their demand. Open your gates. Give us your world. 1 day to decide. After that, we take it. Brandon received the message on the bridge. He looked at the screens. Red dots covered half the map. He turned to Megan. How long until they reach orbit? 20 hours if they push hard. Then we meet them sooner. No big speech to the fleet, no dramatic words, just a simple order sent to every captain. Defend the line. No retreat, protect the people below. Evacuation ships left New Haven quietly. Children waved from viewports. Parents held them close. Nicole stayed on the ground. She helped load the last transports. She kissed her son goodbye. Then she went back to the command bunker. I fight here, she said. The deadline came. The NIGMA waited for surrender. No white flags rose, no signals of peace. At 0 hour, human ships moved, not in a straight wall, in small groups, fast, from different directions. Ashley's fighters struck first. They flew low across the gas giant rings. They launched missiles into drone swarms. Explosions lit the dark. Drones died by hundreds. Kevin's cruiser slipped close to the lead hive ship. Grapples locked, boarding tubes extended. His team wore black armor. They carried rifles that punched through shell. They moved fast. Rooms cleared. Warriors fell. No torture. No prisoners if they fought. Only quick ends. Christopher's new railguns fired from long range. Slugs hit hive armor. Metal cracked. Air vented. The big ships shook. Megan watched the patterns. They grouped too tight. Hit the Queen's chambers. Break the link. Brandon gave the order. Focus fire on command nodes. Human ships pressed in. They took losses. Cruisers burned. Fighters spun away dark. But they kept coming. Every gap closed. Every weak spot hit. The lead hive ship broke apart first. Fire spread inside. The telepathic scream reached across the fleet. NIGMA warriors froze for seconds. That was enough. Human weapons finished them. By morning, New Haven's sky was clear again. Wreckage floated in high orbit. 30 hive ships gone. Human losses heavy, but not breaking. Stars shone through smoke. Daniel sent one short message to the assembly and every open channel. They were clearly warned. They chose not to listen. This is what happens next. Valor closed his log for the day. His light dimmed a little. He had seen empires fall before, but never like this. Not so fast, not so complete. He wrote one last line. The wreckage from New Haven still floated in high orbit. Twisted metal, frozen bodies, broken drones. Human ships moved among the pieces. They collected what could be saved. They left the rest to drift. No victory parades, no loud cheers, only quiet work. Valor watched every detail. His screens showed the NIGMA homeworlds. Queens gathered in deep chambers. Their telepathic voices filled the hive-net with anger. They called every ship, every warrior, every drone. The Empire had lost 30 hive ships. That was nothing to them. They had millions more. They would drown the humans in numbers. On Earth, factories never stopped. Lights burned all night. Workers slept in short shifts. Machines stamped armor plates. Engines tested in underground tunnels. Christopher walked the lines. He checked each new railgun. He tested the phase disruptors. They hummed with power. He smiled once, a small, tired smile. Faster, he said to the teams. We need them faster. Megan sat in a dark room full of maps. Holograms glowed blue. She marked NIGMA supply lines, thin red threads across the stars. She found weak spots, places where ships gathered fuel, places where queens sent orders. She drew attack paths, short jumps, quick strikes, no long fights. Brandon received her plans on resolve. He read them in silence. Then he sent one word back. Approved. He did not waste words. He trusted her mind. Kevin prepared his Marines. They trained in zero gravity. They practiced cutting through thick shell armor. They learned NIGMA weak points, joints, eyes, nerve clusters. They moved without sound. They struck without pause. Ashley flew every day. Her fighter carried new missiles, smart ones. They followed heat. They followed movement. She practiced runs through asteroid fields. She learned to hide in dust clouds. She learned to appear from nowhere. She planted new fields. She taught children how to spot drones in the sky. She spoke softly. We protect what is ours, always. The NIGMA moved first. Their swarm came like a dark wave. Thousands of ships, hive ships, carriers, swarms of small fighters. They crossed into human space in 3 places at once. They aimed to split the defenses. They aimed to break the line. Brandon split his forces. 3 task groups, each one small but fast. He gave the same order to every captain. Hid and fade, protect the cores, let them bleed. The first clash happened at the edge of the Epsilon system. Ashley's wing met a NIGMA scout group. 20 drones, big ones, armed with acid launchers. She rolled her fighter. Split left, stay low. Her pilots followed. They flew close to a gas giant's rings. Ice and rock hid them. The drones searched. Too slow. Ashley came up behind. Missiles away. 4 drones exploded. The rest turned. She chased. Lasers cut through shells. Drones fell one by one. Her wing lost nothing. Kevin's team boarded a damaged carrier. They cut through the hull. Inside was dark, wet tunnels. Warriors waited. Kevin moved first. His rifle spoke once, twice. Warriors dropped. His team pushed deeper. They found the engine room. They planted charges. They left. The carrier broke apart behind them. Megan watched from her command post. She saw patterns. They send waves, predictable, hit the gaps between waves. She sent new orders. Human ships waited in ambush points. When NIGMA ships jumped in, mines waited. Explosions tore hulls. Ships died before they could fight. Christopher's new weapons changed everything. The gravitic lance fired from long range. It bent space. It crushed armor from inside. 1 shot. 1 dead hive ship. He watched the test feeds. More power, he said. The teams worked harder. The NIGMA pushed deeper. They reached the inner colonies. They glassed 2 empty outposts. They wanted humans to run. Humans did not run. Brandon's main fleet met them at the Delta Barrier, a line of defense platforms, heavy guns, shield generators. The NIGMA came in force. 5,000 ships. They filled the sky. Human guns opened first. Railguns roared. Lances flashed. Shields cracked. Hive ships burned. The NIGMA answered. Acid rained on platforms. Some fell. Humans kept firing. Ashley flew through the battle. Her fighter danced between beams. She targeted drone carriers. 1 missile. 1 explosion. Another. She never stopped moving. Kevin led the counterboarding. NIGMA warriors landed on human cruisers. His Marines met them in corridors. Close fights, knives, rifles, blood on metal. They pushed the enemy back. They sealed breaches. They threw bodies into space. Megan changed the plan mid-fight. Jump the reserves behind them. Small groups appeared in the enemy rear. They hit supply ships. Fuel tanks exploded. The NIGMA line broke. The battle lasted 2 days. When it ended, the NIGMA lost over 2,000 ships. Human losses were high. Many good ships gone, many good people gone. But the line held. The swarm pulled back, not far, just enough to regroup. On the NIGMA throne world, the queens screamed. Their voices shook the chambers. They ordered more. All ships, all warriors, no retreat, no mercy. Valor saw the change. The NIGMA no longer laughed. Fear entered their hive mind. Small at first, then stronger. Humans did not celebrate. They counted the dead. They read names on every colony. They buried what could be buried. They honored the rest with silence. Daniel sent a new message. Short, clear, broadcast everywhere. You were warned again. You did not listen. The cost rises. Stop now, or lose everything. The NIGMA answered with rage. They sent their largest fleet yet. 10,000 ships. They aimed straight for Earth. Brandon looked at the new reports. He saw the numbers. He saw the path. He turned to Megan. We go on the offensive. She nodded. We take the fight to them. Christopher brought the final upgrades. Weapons that could crack a queen's chamber from orbit. Megan planned the routes. Kevin prepared his teams for deep strikes. Ashley tested her new squadron. Nicole sent messages to every world. Hold strong. We end this soon. Valor closed one screen. He opened another. Human ships moved toward NIGMA space. Not in fear. Not in anger. In purpose. He wrote in his log. The warning was given. Again and again. The Empire did not hear. Now the hunters become the hunted. And humans hunt without pause. The stars waited. The end came closer. The NIGMA swarm gathered like a storm over dark water. 10,000 ships filled the space between stars. Hive ships bigger than cities. Carriers full of drones. Warriors ready to pour out and take everything. The queens linked their minds across light years. One thought ran through them all. Crush the humans. Harvest their worlds. End the insult. Valor watched the movement. His station sat far away, but his sensors reached deep. He saw the swarm shift. Slow at first, then faster. They aimed straight for the human core. Earth, Mars, the old colonies. The queens believed numbers would win. They had always won before. Humans knew the swarm was coming. Scouts reported every day. Brandon stood on the bridge of resolve. He looked at the hologram. Red dots covered half the map. Too many. He turned to Megan. We cannot stop them head on. We break them piece by piece. Megan nodded. She had planned for this. Layers of defense. Outer traps. Mid-traps. Inner kill zones. She sent orders to every task group. Strike supply. Strike command. Strike queens when you can. Never stand still. Christopher finished the last weapons. Bravidic lances now fired in bursts. Phase disruptors cut through hulls like knives through paper. Self-replicating mines waited in hidden lanes. He tested one last time. A captured NIGMA drone exploded in seconds. He wiped sweat from his face. Ready. Ashley led her fighter wings forward. She flew the newest model. Slim, fast, loaded with smart missiles. She spoke to her pilots over comms. We hit fast. We hit hard. We come home. They answered with short words. No fear in their voices. Kevin prepared deep strikes. His teams trained for hive ships. They learned the tunnels, the smells, the sounds of warrior feet on wet floors. They carried charges that could reach queen chambers. They knew what waited. They went anyway. Nicole stayed on the ground worlds. She helped move supplies. She trained civilians to use rifles. She told them simple things. Aim low, keep moving, protect each other. Children listened. Old people nodded. Everyone worked. The swarm reached the outer line first. Human minds waited. Thousands of small black spheres. When NIGMA ships jumped in, the minds woke. They attached, They exploded, hulls cracked, atmosphere vented, ships died before they could fight back. The NIGMA pushed through. They lost hundreds. They kept coming. Ashley met them next. Her wind struck a supply convoy deep behind the front. Fat carriers full of food paste and warrior eggs. She came out of a nebula cloud. All wings engage. Missiles flew. Carriers bloomed into fire. Drones tried to chase. Her fighters rolled away. They vanished into dust. The NIGMA felt the first pain. Supply lines broke. Queens screamed for more. Warriors grew hungry. Kevin's team hit a hive ship in the middle of the swarm. They slipped close during a jump. Grapples locked. They cut inside. Dark tunnels. Acid on walls. Warriors charged. Kevin fired first. His team followed. Room by room. They reached the lower decks. They found a secondary queen. She was small, still dangerous. They planted charges. They left. The ship shook. The queen died. The link weakened. Across the swarm, small cracks appeared. Ships slowed. Drones flew without direction for seconds. Megan saw it. They feel it now. Push harder. Brandon gave new orders. All groups advance. Target queens. End the mind. Human ships moved inward, not one big fleet. Hundreds of small groups. They appeared from everywhere. They struck. They faded. They struck again. Christopher's lances found queen chambers. One shot, one dead queen. The scream echoed. Nearby ships froze. Human weapons finished them. The NIGMA tried to regroup. They formed a tight ball around their strongest hive ships. They thought safety in numbers. Humans used that. Mines seeded the edges. When the ball moved, mines followed. Explosions tore the formation. Ashley's fighters flew inside the gaps. They hit weak spots. Kevin's Marines boarded during the chaos. They reached more queens. One by one, the voices in the hive mind went quiet. The swarm started to break. Ships turned away. Some jumped blind. Some drifted dead. The queens who still lived felt fear for the first time. Real fear. On Earth, people watched feeds from hidden cameras. They saw NIGMA ships burn. They saw human ships keep moving. No one cheered loud. They worked harder. They built more. They waited. Nicole stood on a hill at night. Stars flashed with distant explosions. She whispered to the dark, "Hold on, it's almost over." The NIGMA reached the final defense ring around the core systems. Platforms, heavy cruisers, everything humans had left. The swarm still had thousands of ships. They charged. Brandon met them there. Guns roared. Shields held. Lances fired. Hive ships cracked open. Drones died in waves. Ashley flew through the thick of it. Her fighter shook from near hits. She locked on a carrier. Missiles away. The carrier split. She pulled up hard. One more. Kevin boarded the lead hive ship, the biggest one. Guards waited. His team fought through. Blood, acid, shouts. They reached the primary queen chamber. She was huge, old, strong. She lashed out. Warriors died around her. Kevin stood firm. Charges now. They set them. They ran. The chamber exploded behind them. The queen died. The scream that followed was different. Not anger, pain, loss. Every NIGMA ship in the swarm froze. 3 seconds. That was all humans needed. Lances, railguns, missiles, everything fired at once. The swarm shattered. Ships exploded. Drones scattered. The dark filled with fire and silence. When it ended, the NIGMA had nothing left in human space. Millions dead. The queens who survived fled deep into their own territory, broken, alone. Brandon looked at the empty map. Red dots gone. He spoke once. "Secure the field. Help the wounded. Then we follow." Megan closed her tablet. They are running now. Christopher sat in his lab. He turned off the power to the lances. Enough for today. Ashley landed her fighter. She climbed out slow. Her hands shook. She looked at the sky. Stars again. Quiet stars. Valor watched the end of the battle. His light flickered. He had seen many wars. This one felt different. Humans did not stop at defense. They followed the threat until it could never rise again. He wrote in his log. The swarm came to destroy. It met something older than rage, something colder, necessity. Humans warned them, again and again. The Empire did not listen. Now the Empire bleeds, and the bleeding does not stop. The outer defenses of the NIGMA Empire still stood. Rings of sensor stations, minefields, heavy gun platforms. Queens thought these would slow the humans. They were wrong. Brandon moved resolve to the front. The ship carried fresh scars from the last battle. New plates covered old holes. Guns reloaded. Crew rested in short turns. No one spoke of stopping. They only spoke of the next target. Megan planned the push. She drew lines on her map. We cut the heart first. Queens control everything. Kill the queens, the body dies. She marked the throne world, deep inside NIGMA space, protected by layers of ships and forts. She marked supply worlds next, then shipyards, then breeding chambers. Take them in order. No rush, no mercy. Christopher sent the newest weapons forward. Void cutters. They opened small tears in space. Anything close got pulled in and crushed. He watched tests on empty hulks. Metal folded like paper. Load them on the heavies. Ashley flew ahead with scout wings. She slipped past patrols. She mapped weak points. She sent pictures back. Big gaps here. They guard the center too tight. Her voice stayed calm. She never sounded tired. Kevin led strike teams onto captured outposts. They found NIGMA workers, not warriors, thin, scared. They did not fight. Kevin spoke through translators. We want the queens, not you. He gave them food, water, safe passage to neutral space. Some went, some stayed to help. They showed hidden tunnels, weak walls, secret doors. Nicole followed behind the front. Her teams landed on taken worlds. They cleared rubble. They fed survivors from other species the NIGMA had enslaved. She spoke to them quietly. Your chains are broken. Go home if you can. Many cried. Many thanked her. She never asked for thanks. She only worked. The first deep strike hit a breeding world. Eggs in vast chambers. Human cruisers jumped close. Lances fired. Chambers cracked. Eggs burned. The queens felt it across the link. Pain ran through the hive mind like fire. NIGMA ships rushed to defend. Too late. Ashley's fighters met them halfway. They rolled through drone swarms. Missiles found weak spots. Ships died fast. Kevin's Marines landed next. They moved through smoke. They reached the main nest. Queens screamed orders. Warriors charged. Kevin's team held the line. Rifles spoke. Grenades rolled. They pushed forward. They found the prime queen for that world. Huge, old, surrounded by guards. Kevin gave one chance. Surrender. She refused. Charges set. The chamber collapsed. The queen died. The link weakened again. More voices went silent. The NIGMA tried counterattacks. Small fleets jumped into human supply lines. They hit transports. They killed civilians. Brandon saw the reports. His face did not change. He gave one order. Close them. Megan traced the paths. She placed ambush groups. When NIGMA ships arrived, mines waited. Explosions tore them apart. No survivors. The Empire started to crack. Queens argued in the hive mind. Some wanted peace. Most wanted war. The strongest ones won. They ordered every ship to the core. Protect the throne. Die for the hive. Brandon saw the movement. They gather everything in one place. Good. He turned to the fleet. We go straight in. Human ships advanced. Not in a line. In waves. Fast cruisers first. then heavies, then support. They hit every world on the way. Shipyards burned, fuel depots exploded, repair stations went dark. One world after another fell quiet. The throne world waited, a red planet, deep canyons, huge spires. The last queens hid inside. Thousands of ships circled it. The biggest fleet left. They formed a wall. Ashley scouted the edge. Too many to count. But they stay close. No room to move. She smiled thin. That helps us. Megan changed the plan. We do not fight the wall. We go under it. She marked hyperspace tunnels. Old ones. Forgotten. Dangerous. We come out inside the ring. Brandon approved. Risk high. Reward higher. The jump happened at human dawn. Ships vanished. Space folded. They appeared inside the enemy formation. Close. Very close. Chaos followed. Human lances fired point blank. Hive ships cracked open. Drones tried to swarm. Ashley's fighters cut them down. Kevin's boarding teams launched. They hit command ships. They moved to queen chambers. Christopher's void cutters opened. Small tears pulled ships in. Metal screamed. Ships vanished. Queens felt the fear spread. They tried to link tighter. It did not help. Voices kept going dark. On the throne world surface, the last queens gathered in the deep nest. Guards stood around them. The ground trembled from orbital fire. Kevin's team landed near the main spire. They fought down tunnels. Acid burned armor. Warriors died in piles. They reached the chamber. The queens waited. The biggest one spoke through translator. You cannot kill the hive. We are eternal. Kevin answered, You were warned. You chose this. Charges set. Timers started. His team pulled back. The explosions came one after another. Spires fell. Chambers collapsed. The queens died together. The hive mind broke. Every NIGMA ship froze. Warriors stopped moving. Drones drifted. The link was gone. No orders. No purpose. Human ships kept firing. They finished what moved. They stopped when nothing moved anymore. The throne world burned below. Cities empty. Nests silent. The red dust settled over ruins. Brandon looked at the view screen. Wreckage everywhere. Signal the fleet. Secure the system. Begin scans for survivors. Megan closed her map. It's over. Ashley landed her fighter. She sat in the cockpit for a long time. She looked at the stars. Quiet now. Nicole arrived on the surface later. She walked through broken tunnels. She found young NIGMA. Not warriors, just small ones, scared. She gave them blankets, water. You did not choose this war. She helped them leave. Valor watched the final moments. His light grew dim. He had seen ends before. This one felt final. He wrote the last lines. The Empire paid, utterly, completely. They were clearly warned, many times. They laughed, they attacked, they lost everything. Humans did not hate them. Humans only wanted the threat gone. When the threat would not stop, humans stopped it forever. The galaxy sees now. Pushed too far, warned too many times, and the answer comes without anger, without pause, without end. The throne world lay in ruins. Smoke rose from cracked spires. Deep nests collapsed into dark holes. The last queens were gone, their minds silent forever. The hive link that once stretched across stars now held nothing. Scattered ships drifted without purpose. Warriors floated dead in broken hulls. Drones powered down and became cold metal. The NIGMA Empire no longer existed as one thing. It was pieces, lost pieces. Valor watched the quiet aftermath. His sensors swept the system. No signals came from the red planet. No orders, no screams, only the soft hiss of leaking air and the slow spin of wreckage. He had seen empires end before. Some faded slowly, some burned bright then vanished. This one had been torn apart fast, methodical, complete. Brandon kept resolve in high orbit. The ship stayed ready, guns cooled but charged. Crews scanned for any movement. He looked at the view screen. The planet below looked smaller now, broken. Sweep for survivors, not warriors, not queens, the others. Bring them out if they surrender. Megan sent teams to the surface. Small ships landed in canyons. They found hidden chambers. Young NIGMA, workers, not fighters. Thin bodies, shaking legs. They had no weapons. They had no link to follow anymore. They looked up at humans with wide eyes. Nicole walked among them. She carried blankets and water packs. She spoke through a simple translator. "We will not hurt you. Come with us." Some stepped forward. Some hid deeper. She waited. No force. No rush. Slowly they came. Small groups at first, then more. She led them to transports. She made sure they had food. She told the pilots, "Take them to neutral space. Let other species decide what happens next." Ashley flew cover for the rescue ships. Her fighter circled slow. She watched the ground teams. No attack came. No hidden drones. The planet stayed dead quiet. She landed once near a broken nest. She saw small NIGMA young hiding under a fallen beam. She knelt. She offered a ration bar. The small one took it with trembling claws. Ashley did not smile. She only nodded. Then she flew back up. Kevin searched the deepest tunnels. His team moved careful. Lights cut through dark. They found old queen chambers, empty now. Bodies of guards still stood where they fell. Kevin looked at the walls, carvings of past victories, past conquests. He shook his head once. They thought they were forever. His team planted markers, not for graves, for records. Then they left. Christopher stayed on a support ship. He turned off the void cutters. He powered down the lances. His hands stopped shaking for the first time in months. He looked at the weapon logs. Every shot counted. Every hit remembered. He closed the files. "Enough," he said to the empty room. Human ships spread out. They searched every system the NIGMA once held. They found broken fleets. Some ships still had power. Warriors inside tried to fight. Human boarding teams ended it quick. No long battles, no suffering drawn out, just finished. Other places held only silence. Empty shipyards, cold breeding worlds, factories dark. Humans did not loot. They did not burn more than needed. They marked the sites. They left warnings on open channels. This place once belonged to the NIGMA Empire. It no longer does. Do not claim it without thought. The Galactic Assembly called an emergency meeting. Species gathered in the Great Hall. Many empty seats. Fear kept some away. Daniel entered last. Laura walked beside him. They sat at the table. No one spoke at first. An alien ambassador stood, voice shaky. "What have you done?" Daniel answered calm. "We ended a threat. They were warned, many times. They chose to continue. We chose to finish." Another ambassador asked, "Will you do the same to us?" Laura placed a small crystal on the table. It held every message, every warning, every refusal. "Only if you force us. We do not seek more. We seek peace, real peace." The hall stayed quiet. Then heads nodded, one by one. New rules were written that day. Humans gained seats equal to the oldest species. No more secret votes against them. No more tests. Brandon retired soon after. He found a small farm on a green moon. He planted trees. He watched stars at night. He never spoke of the war again. Nicole taught school on New Haven. She told children stories, not of battles, of people who came home, of hands that helped after the fighting stopped. Ashley flew supply runs, quiet flights. She carried food to new colonies. She smiled more now. She laughed sometimes. Kevin vanished into the outer rim. Some said he hunted the last pirate groups. Others said he just wanted quiet space. No one knew for sure. Christopher worked on new engines, peaceful ones, drives that took ships far without weapons. He slept better. Valor closed his last archive. His station grew dark section by section. He kept one light on, a small glow. He recorded the final words. They were clearly warned. The NIGMA Empire paid with utter annihilation. Not from hate, not from joy and destruction, from simple need. The need to make sure no child would ever wake to alarms again. No family would run from acid rain. No world would burn because someone far away felt strong. Humans gave warnings. Clear, repeated, ignored. When warnings failed, they acted. Fast, thorough, without pause. They spared what could be spared. They ended what could not be allowed to rise again. The galaxy learned a hard truth. Push humanity to the edge. Ignore every line they draw, and the edge disappears, along with everything beyond it. Now the stars carry their name differently, not as newcomers, not as traitors, as those who finish what others start. And when they finish, nothing remains to start again. He turned off the last sensor. The glow faded. Valor sat in darkness. The galaxy turned on without him watching. But every species remembered, in quiet moments, in council halls, in stories told to young ones. They remembered the warnings. They remembered the silence that followed.